We are live, breaking it all down. Welcome, everyone. To anybody that's here right now, welcome to the Launch Engle. This is the video where we're going to be trying to find as many home run plays as we can find today. The goal? Let's find some positive EV plays using OddsShopper and the Portfolio EV tool. If we can't find them, we're going to dig a little bit deeper and find out some spots, because we never really know what we're going to get each day. What I mean by that is lefty on the mound, righty on the mound, pitcher's park, hitter's park, hot weather, cold weather. All of those things dramatically change each and every day. And I think that opens us up for some value. Maybe. That's the plan. But we're going to dig into anything we can find. So chat, if you're here, come on in. Let me know what you're looking at for home runs today. Maybe you've got some angles that we can dig into. Maybe you don't, and you want to see what we find. Oh, that's fine. But we want to find out what's actually out there. And by the way, let's cross our fingers for the next however long I'm here. It's piss and rain outside, so we're going to hope that we maintain power and maintain internet. But for now, I just want to find some home run bets. And I hope you guys do too. One last reminder. If you're here, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engelman. Larry, what's good? Do I look at the home run model in the top batters tool? Trout looks good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's pull that up too. Now that's going to be on the DFS side at Stochastic for those of you that are unaware. But we have a top batters tool. That's a good shout out from Larry. So let's move that down. Let's see how far I can zoom before it's on top of me. That should work for right now. We got the home run rates here. We could use these to try to inform our decisions. We're going to use Portfolio EV. Hopefully things pop up. As of right now, nothing's popping up, but that's okay. We have infinite things to look at. We've got promos and boosts across the industry. I've got my phone ready to go to load these bets. I know that sounds weird, but most of you guys probably don't know this. When you're using your camera on like a live stream, this is so weird that it happens. More often than not, like I would say most times, you're not able to log into sportsbooks. It won't let you geolocate and let you know like what state you're in. For some reason, the camera throws that off. So phone is ready to lock in anything we find. We've got boosts and promos at FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, Bet365, Onyx odds, potentially. But I just want to dig in. I've got the live odds screen pulled up on OddsShopper.com. Sign up using the link in the description. So we can shop around, find the best lines we can find. And then we're going to use all of the wealth of data that exists nowadays on the MLB side. Whether that's StatCast, which, I mean, it's a never-ending supply of pitching data, of hitting data, of granular park factors, all of that at our fingertips. Fangraphs obviously has existed for ages. I mean, geez, when did I have my blog? 2006, 2007. I mean, they've been around for close to 20 years now. We've got the top batters tool at Stokastic.com. And we've got the pitcher data at Add More Funds, where we can very quickly see lineups and current pitcher data, X ISO, X WOBA. We can paint a really good picture of what we want to see. So for those of you that are here, welcome. It's nice to have you. I'm just getting all my windows and everything set up for right now. unfortunately for us, for the sports books that I have, so I'm in North Carolina. I've got DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, Bet365, BetMGM, Fanatics, ESPN Bet. And then I could hit the social sports books as well, plus pick'em sites like Prize Picks, Underdog, Sleeper, Dabble, etc. So that's what we're looking for right now. Trying to get ourselves whatever angle we think we can find. And there's no line too long. There's no there's no bet I won't make. Dan Quinn, you're absolutely right. And that's a great point. And just so everybody knows, this is not going to be permanently a 5 p.m. show. What I wanted to do is bounce around with time. So tomorrow we'll probably go off super early, where there's generally a ton of home run bet value that's popping up across all the books. At that point, using Portfolio EV and OddsShopper, we are going to have a lot more options right out of the gate. But I also wanted to make sure that I can do this in front of the most people, and I just didn't know how many times we were going to be able to try out a wealth of times to start. So think of this like the beta version, not for me, I guess it's the alpha version, but you know what I mean. It's the beta version of the Launch Engle. Ultimately, what we're doing will always be applicable, but in terms of Portfolio EV, finding home run bets will be a little bit more difficult. I've already set up a portfolio in Portfolio EV for all of my sports books and pick'em sites. For any OddsShopper home run bet that hits or that is available with a 2 OddsShopper rating or higher. Now, right now we don't have that, but that's not shocking. These lines have existed for 12 hours. You squeeze a lot of value out of that throughout the day. When we go live at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, or whenever that ends up being, probably 8 o'clock tomorrow, I'll bet we have a staggering difference in the lines that are available. But we also have wild disparities in betting lines that you guys can see right now on the live odds screen at oddshopper.com. The Trey Turner line that was just showing is a perfect example. Can I scroll back down and find that pretty quickly? I don't know how far down it was. Plus 400 at DraftKings, plus 500 at FanDuel, plus 600 at Underdog, 550 at ESPN Bet, back down to 400 at Onyx. I mean, we've got a massive, massive disparity on most of these places. And we can sort through spots where we do have some negative edge. Maybe we could attach a couple of these like boosts. We can find places that have generally low holds, and maybe we can use some boosts and promos to push those in the right direction. But we can shop around for all of it. So I'm going to hit you guys that are here with the first question. And it's a very easy one. Do you guys have any guys that you want me to look at? I could take you through the full path of everything that I want to see if I'm trying to angle for a home run bet. And we could utilize something like our top batters tool on the DFS side with home run probabilities for every single player that's supposed to go for today. As lineups come in, this will get updated and updated and updated. There are a lot of spots where we can find a good line, and there's no reason we can't use promos. I mean, Dinger Tuesday, this is going to be amazing. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but King of the Diamond, I can't remember what DraftKings calls it. Whatever, on Friday. Same principle. Every one of these sports books is running some kind of gimmick on one of these days to give you guys a no sweat token, a 20% profit boost, a 30% profit boost, whatever. We might walk away from this with some like ultra long odd parlays, which, you know, we could do this for 3 months and not hit a 3-legger. But when we do, it might pay off everything that we did before that. But I want to know what you guys have been looking at, if you've been looking at anything, or if you want me to just start digging in, we can also do that. So let's take a look first and foremost through the potential game, well, through the game, not potential games, through the games for today. Let's try to find a spot where maybe we want to dig in a little bit further. Right now, I have StatCast on the screen with the 1 year park factor. So this is just 2025. I'm not setting it up to do rolling where it will add in, say, 2024 or 2023 and blend that together. We'll dig into that a little bit further if we need to. But they break it down by every stat. What I'm most concerned about, obviously, is the home run one. I mean, 160 so far this season. So we're already halfway through. 164 lefty park factor in Baltimore. Now, well, the only reason I'm pointing that out is because that is clearly the highest park factor that we have. That is not applicable for us today. But let's look for something a little bit later that we have double lineups on. So Cleveland and Chicago. Let's take a look at Wrigley, because we can dig in individually to these parks as well. This is the full reign of park factors at Wrigley. 106 overall. See, think about this. What kind of odd, even nonsense is running in Wrigley right now? Positive home run factor this year, 85 last year. That's probably one of the biggest pitchers parks you would have got. 105 in 2003, back down to 90 in 2022, back up to 124 in 21. So apparently in even years, Wrigley is a pitcher's park for homers. In odd years, Wrigley's a hitter's park. But let's see how it breaks down righty-lefty. Park factor so far this year in Wrigley, 116. Now, if you strap on a 3-year rolling average, it starts to flatten out. It becomes a little neutral. If we switch it to lefty, that's where it dies on the 3-year park factor. And it's also dying for the single-year park factor. So if we're looking for anything from Wrigley, it's going to be righties. Let's hop over to add more funds. We'll pull up the Chicago Cubs. Tanner Bibee on the hill for Cleveland. So if we're looking for anything from the Chicago side, we would have wanted righties. 149 x ISO so far this season for Tanner Bibee against righties. If you add in last year, we're still sitting at 149. Doesn't seem like the spot you would want to attack. If we hop over to the Cleveland side, might be a little bit different here. Imanaga on the hill. He's thrown 565 pitches so far this season to right-handed hitters. And you guys can see the gap here right away. 27% K rate to lefties, 15 to righties. 264 x ISO so far this season. Let's add in last year. Now that gets us a real sample. 2,600 pitches. That's still a 180 x ISO. What's even more interesting to me, close to 1,400 fastballs since the beginning of last year, and they are getting teed off on. 252 x ISO, and that's backed up by a regular ISO of 269. He's given up massive power to righties. So then that, to me, leads me to think, all right, what kind of interesting lines can we find from Cleveland for today from the right side? Oh, we're going to pause everything we're talking about right now. Cal Raleigh on DraftKings plus 280 is showing up as a 1 OddsShopper rating using the portfolio EV tool. That's a 3.3% EV. I want to dig into this one while it's out there right now, because this is what we're looking for. What I want to do is find bets like this, especially bets like this that are relatively low in the OddsShopper rating. Like this, if this was 5 or 6, I probably wouldn't even dig into the statistical side of it. And that's why you should use portfolio EV, build out your portfolio, set your thresholds, because you'll be able to build things that are historically heavily profitable if that's the direction you want to go, depending on your books. But something like a OddsShopper rating, 3.3% expected EV is great. I'm a nerd and I love digging into data. So I want to use both of these tools together. I want to use portfolio EV to help me find an edge, and I want to back it up statistically so I feel extra special great about what I'm getting. You could build your portfolio and you don't have to do anything that I'm talking about. That's the great thing about OddsShopper. So let's look at Cal Raleigh. Obviously, having a decent season. Let's find it here. So we've got the lefty on the hill, Noah Cameron, 700-ish pitches over the past 2 years, all of which are this year. Now, here's the tricky part. He's thrown 500 pitches to righties, 148 x ISO. His real problem has been in that small sample against lefties. We're obviously going to get Cal Raleigh from the right side here against Noah Cameron. Now, that seems like a good enough bet. This year and last year, 271 plate appearances against lefties for Cal Raleigh, a 315 x ISO. So even at the very least, we're going to get him from the right side. That hasn't been Cameron's problem, but we got to remember that that's a 148 x ISO against, let's call it average competition. When you throw 527 pitches, more often than not, that's going to be a relatively average sample. And that's a fine x ISO. But he's also not facing a slugger like Cal Raleigh. So let's look at Seattle's park for a second and see if we can glean anything from the right side here. Now, we know that this is a pitcher's park, plain and simple. But 103 home run factor in Seattle this year. This has been much more of a pitcher's park over the years. From a scoring perspective, it's an aggressive pitcher's park. From a lefty side, we're running at basically the same park factor. They're just sitting at 103 so far this year. If I can get an average setup here, that's fine by me. And we're seeing Cal Raleigh mash. He's mashing. So if we're going to get a plus 280 line on Cal Raleigh, I see no reason not to tackle it. At the very least, we're in a neutral park for power. We certainly don't care, or at least it seems like we don't care about Noah Cameron. 25 years old. Not the best fastball per Fangraphs. 45 fastball, 50 curve, 60 changeup. Command's decent. But when that fastball's in the zone, it seems like it's getting tattooed. Cal Raleigh, by the way, where's he hiding in the home run odds? 18%. It's honestly a little bit lower than I was expecting, but that's still probably top 20 for today. And we've had this line out there for 5 minutes, so I hope you guys are going to join me right now. I am pulling up DraftKings on my phone, and I'm going to let loose on Cal Raleigh, plus 280. This is the kind of thing we want to find. Because obviously we feel great about Cal Raleigh hitting a homer. He's been smashing this year. I'm not worried about the matchup. The park certainly doesn't hurt us. I don't see a single negative here. But we have the true odds set at plus 268. So we are getting an edge by betting Cal Raleigh here. Now, it's not going to be the biggest bet in the world, and maybe it sticks around and we can tie that together with somebody else. But I want to get this one down, and you'll be able to see it on anywhere else I am, Picket or Juice Reel. Everything will be synced there. But plus 280 for Cal Raleigh right now, best believe I'm betting this bad boy. Let's bet just enough to win 100. It's going to be, I'm calling it 26.50. The bet is in, folks. We got one locked and loaded. And I don't know about you guys, but if you're going to take a home run bet, obviously the line isn't super long there. If you're going to take one, I don't mind getting some positive EV on the #1 home run hitter on the season. So if you're available to bet on DraftKings, you got plus 280 sitting out there on Kyle Raleigh. Let's see what else exists for Raleigh. I mean, look at the gap in odds right there. 280 at DraftKings, 220 on FanDuel, 225 on BetMGM, sub 200 on the Pick'em sites. You can get to plus 280 on Onyx odds. I wonder why that is. But let's keep an eye on this one. Because if we can find one more play or two more plays on Onyx odds, we've got a pretty big promo on Onyx that we could take advantage of. So we've locked in Cal Raleigh now. Shout out to the Portfolio EV tool for hooking us up there. Let me track that bet. So we got that one in. Pete Shepard in chat says, take a look at Salvador Perez, same game, good EV, launch angle, and decent hard hit. I think you spelled launch angle incorrect, Pete. Wink, wink, but let's check it out. So let's hop to the opposite side. So we've got Logan Gilbert going for Seattle. Definitely having some trouble with lefties so far. Obviously, he missed a chunk of time. He's only been back for 3 starts. If we loop last year in, that gets us up to a much bigger sample that we could feel better about. Salvador Perez against righties, still a 237 X ISO over the last year and a half. If we take out last year and just look at this year, 232. So the power isn't going anywhere for Salvador Perez. At the very least, that stands out to me as something we would want to attack. I am a little nervous about attacking Logan Gilbert in this spot. He's not giving up any power to righties this year. He never gave up any power last year. He's never really given up any power to righties. So that's certainly a little bit concerning. But let's take a look and see, what do the lines look like across the board? Where can we find anything here? So we got 475 sitting out there on DK, plus 500 sitting out there on FanDuel, 550 out there on BetMGM, 5.25 at ESPN. So if we're going to take this anywhere, it's probably going to be BetMGM at plus 550. Let's take a look at our top batters tool. So we got Cal Raleigh at 18.1 percentage points. So that's going to be 81.9. I mean, Pete, I'm kind of digging this 550 line at BetMGM. I'm not going to lie. I don't hate that at all. I mean, do I think that this is a great spot? No, of course not. I'm a big Logan Gilbert guy, especially these good Seattle pitchers at home. But Salvador Perez doesn't seem to care because he's raking against righties. And at least for this year, we're not driving ourselves dead into an aggressive pitcher's park. I don't know. Why did I pull up Cal Raleigh again? Salvador Perez, 12.25%. That's a much better way to do this. So that's going to be, what, 87.7? Yeah. Just doing some back end calculations. I'd love to see that line be slightly higher. You know, like something creeping over 600. I would really like to see it be a little bit higher on Onyx odds, because then I think that we could loop that together with the Cal Raleigh play. But I do like this a little bit. I'm nervous that every start that goes by, Logan Gilbert is going to become a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. But it does strike me as a spot that looks good to attack. Let's see here. Now, this is not something that I would typically care about, but I'm always happy when it goes in my direction. Where the hell is this game? So, like, for example, Logan Gilbert against everybody on the KC roster right now has only faced 73 batters. That's a sample that is mostly meaningless. Big slugging allowed. Not sure how much I care about any of that, but I mean, if we're talking about grabbing power, I'm doing it. Pete, I'm with you. I'm with you. Is it popping up as a positive EV play right now? No. However, we're looking at a difference between, realistically, plus 475 at DraftKings and Onyx odds and plus 550 at BetMGM. I'm going to take advantage of that BetMGM line right now. Between the park and between Salvador Perez's power, I'm going to look that one up for you, Pete. All right. Scrolling down to BetMGM. Batter home runs for the Royals. Oh! Line is moved, Pete. No longer sitting at 550. I don't even know if we have the refresh yet. I've got, yeah, there it is. We're up to 575 on BetMGM now for Salvador Perez. Let's attack that one too. Another one in the books. Salvador Perez to homer plus 575 on BetMGM. That's, I mean, it's 475 on DraftKings. Just thinking about it like that is the most important thing you can do. Because if you're not shopping around for the best number, the gap between 475 and 575 for break even is staggering. You leave that on the table on every bet, and you're going to have a really difficult time being a profitable bettor. For me right now, I want to attack plus 575. So we got one from the portfolio EV tool. Straight out of it, give me the number one home run hitter in Cal Raleigh. We flipped it to the opposite side, and we grabbed Salvador Perez. I want to find, before we dip out of here, because we're not exactly drowning in home run opportunities today, I want to find a 3-leg parlay for home runs to bet on Onyx. I think that's the move. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the social sports books. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with something like Onyx odds, but these guys offer massive promos on a day-to-day basis. I'm pulling it up right now just to make sure I hit exactly what it is. So here it is. 50% same game parlay boost today. Minimum 3 legs on Onyx odds. 50%. So even if we're finding -1, -2, -3 EV type bets, 50% will take a giant bite out of all of that one and push us to the profitable side. So let's hunt this down. I would imagine the Cal Raleigh bet still exists on Onyx. We're at 280 on DraftKings. It's where we bet it. And we're still sitting at 280 on Onyx odds. I am going to use Cal Raleigh as part of this. But what we need are 2 more bets to fill out the rest of a 3-leg Onyx play. I wish that we could add Salvador Perez, but that line was terrible here. And we might need to find our other two in the same game. So I've got Cal Raleigh in as one. I want to find a set of 2 homers to attack in the same game. I don't care which side it's on. So let's start by thinking about parks, because I think that's the path that is going to be easiest to take. So let's get back to the league park factors for a second. And allegedly, DeAndre Ayton's going to sign with the Lakers, which is exactly what I expected. But that's a conversation for a different day. Okay, home runs this year from the left side. And we're looking at home games for Red Sox, Blue Jays, Rangers, Mariners, which we got, Nats, Phillies, Marlins, Mets, Braves, Cubs, Rockies, Diamondbacks, and Dodgers. Do we have weather to dodge? We don't. So let's find a spot with a pitcher that isn't that good. All right, my guys let me down yesterday. I took the Braves as my primary stack, and they stunk. Now, not a great home run park. 94 park factor to both sides this year. 87 to righties, 101 to lefties. Can I get a Brave? Because I'd really like to bet my Braves, if I can. Now, good sign there. Let's take a deeper look at Kikuchi. Now, Kikuchi gives it up more to righties. Smashed so far this year. 1,200 pitch. They're almost 1,300 pitches to righties this year. 215x ISO. 3,600 over the last 2, back down to 175. The strikeouts are going to be there. The power is going to be there too. Now, I wish that he gave up more power to lefties, because I would love to attack someone like Olsen. But that's not going to get us where we need to be. So we need to look to the righties for Atlanta. And in particular, you know, you'd like to lean fastball slider. Again, I don't want to overreact to small samples, but I like it when things I like are also working towards small samples. I would never just be like, oh, it's been 100 pitches, he sucks. No. But if I like a particular hitter and I see that that pitch is going my direction, it'll at least make me feel better when it happens. Now, clearly we can get to someone like Ronald Acuna if we wanted to. Obviously, Acuna's got some pop. He's sitting out there at Onyx right now at plus 310. That's one of the better lines that exist. A little bit of negative value. We could look at Riley. I think we could look at Ozuna. We could look at Sean. Let's look at Sean Murphy. All right, Murphy's sitting out there. Best line is FanDuel at plus 430. It's 400 on Onyx. It's probably a bit too negative. Let's take a look at Ozuna. Okay, that's a little bit more manageable. Plus 420. We're at 400 on Onyx. Ozuna over the past year and a half, 205x ISO. Even in his limited samples for fastballs and sliders, both of those fit where we want to be. If we take a look at the top batters tool, we've got Ozuna in at 24% to homer today. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the 10th highest rate of anybody. I think that all looks pretty damn good. Weather in Atlanta for today. Where's it hiding? 86 degrees. Not crazy humidity. I'm going to add Ozuna as the second homer in the 3-leg parlay. Again, Are we going to hit this all the time? Hell no. Would it be cool if we did? Yes, very much so. So what we need to do is find another one in this game, whether that's on the Braves side or on the opposite side for the Angels against Fuentes. All right, Ozuna in plus 400. That's 2. We're at plus 1,800 for the 2. Let's take a peek back at Portfolio EV just to see if anything else popped up. It didn't. That's okay. What kind of angle can we find here? Now, obviously, Fuentes has no sample whatsoever. He's thrown 161 pitches. Big time fastball. Average slider. No changeup. Absolutely no command. Probably long-term a reliever. In the minors, no real home run issues in the 39 innings he had this year. Last year, he was 75 innings, a single. It just no sample here. He has a very limited sample against real hitters. And based on that scouting report, I'm not super worried about him. And I say that as a Braves fan. So what lefty bats can we find from the Angels? I don't want Chenul. There's not enough power there. Our only other option looks like it's going to be Rengifo, who oddly I would like less. Do we have? Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 lefties in the lineup. I would really have preferred to get a different one. I mean, how big is the Chenul line right now? What, 700, 800? Plus 800 on DraftKings, plus 1,000 on FanDuel. There's no way we're taking that. So it leads me to think that we got to go to a righty, which is not ideal. Not ideal for the park. But I mean, he's just never going to find the plate. So Trout, Ward, Adele, Soler, Ohapi. I mean, we've got the righty options, that's for sure. Let's see if we can squeeze out any value from some of those righty options. So let's work our way down from top to bottom. I guess we could start with Neto. There's no problems there. 290 on DK, which means 290 on Onyx. Much better lines everywhere else, so there's no chance we're going that direction. So Trout is up next. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love me some Mike Trout, but he is obviously not the same thing. All right, Pete, that might lead us that direction. Yeah, Trout's odds are way too thin on Onyx. That's not going to be it. Let's check out Ward. I think you've been a little hard on the Beaver. Okay, a little tighter. 400 at BetMGM, though. It's going to be tough to go to that when we're 100 points down on Onyx. So it's not going to be Ward. Starting to feel like it's going to be Adele. Hello? That's me doing Adele. Pause. 285. We're just... It's like every one of these Angels bats have the worst line possible for where we need that line to be. Soler? Revenge narrative? 400? I'm having trouble. Our last shot is Ohapi. I'm having trouble finding a good Angels line. Oh, he's not in the lineup. It's not Ohapi. It's Travis d'Arnaud. We can work with that. $450. That's the problem. Like, I don't want to take that even though we're getting the 50% boost, I don't want to take 450 when 550 is hanging out there. That's too big of a gap for me. Ooh, Cal Raleigh line is gone, everybody. Hope you took advantage when you could. I think we might just be doubling up and trying to take 2 Braves home runs off of Kikuchi. So we got Ozuna. Let's take a look at Murph Dog. I mean, tighter line for sure. I would like to have the best line be the line we're looking for. We're not going Allen or White. I don't think we're going to go... I mean, there's no upside to going to Michael Harris against Kikuchi. That's not going to get us anywhere. Profar? That feels like it could be sneaking on. No, not even close. Plus 800 on FanDuel right now? Woof, man. All right, well, we're going to the only other options. Let's look at A-Rai. It is tough to find a second line. Olsen's taking Kikuchi yard twice. I can't go to Olsen. I just can't. Like, obviously, great power hitter. And even if that's worked out, like, Kikuchi really does wipe out most lefties. As much as I would like to go that direction, I just don't think we can. How big was that gap on the Ronald Acuna line? I don't remember. Anything else popping up in portfolio EV? Not right now. I think we're going to go Acuna. That's the most narrow edge we've had, closest to the true odds. And it's Acuna. I mean, I'm never going to be mad about that. That should allow us to finish off this card. That's not bad. I gotta be honest. Wait, why didn't... Where are you hiding, Acuna? Somehow I clicked on him and it took me to the Phillies game. Not entirely sure how I did that, but I'm quite confident it was user error because I'm a moron. Oh, that doesn't help. More MLB. More wagers. Homers. Ronald Acuna. All right. You guys can't see this. Actually, it's going to take too much to get this up. You guys can't see this right now, but Cal Raleigh plus 270. Marcell Ozuna plus 400. Ronald Acuna plus 310. Is this likely to hit? Hell no. Not even close. But I like the lines we're getting. I like the matchups that we've just dug into. And this is at plus 5680. But remember, there's a 50% profit boost. Max bet up to $50. So instead of, call it plus 5,600, that jumps to plus 8,500. So we're getting 85 to 1 on these three guys. Just out of curiosity, if we take Cal Raleigh, who's at 18.4, and then we take Acuna, who's at 19.5, and then we take Ozuna at 24. Are we getting a good line here? No, we're not. Break even here, quite a bit higher than we want it to be. We're looking at about, right around like just under a 1% chance here. So not ideal. Probably not the best line, but I think we've angled to 3 good picks. So why not fire it? I need, let's see, 1150. Does that get me to 1,000? 1160, 1170 gets me to 1,000. That's the one we want. 3-leg dinger parlay, Ozuna, Acuna, and the first one that we locked in earlier today in Cal Raleigh. Circumstances, Altuve Lockett. I'll look at it. I'll take a peek. Let's see how Altuve looks. Where do we have his lines sitting right now? This will be the last thing we look at before we get out of here. MLB Live Before Lock on the Stochastic channel coming up next. Best line you can find for Altuve right now is going to be 400 on FanDuel or ESPN Bet. Little scary, if I'm honest. I don't love that line. Clearly, we're in Colorado, so that helps. Clearly, we're facing Austin Gomber, which helps. Austin Gomber gives up dong after dong after dong. Altuve, though, is not the same guy he used to be. I think that line is too thin. I don't like that at that number for Altuve. I get it. I certainly get it. But I'm a little nervous there. Let's take a look at his graph here. So let's look at ISO. And then let's go by game. Past 3 years. Oh, and let's get a, I don't know, 20 game trend line over the past 3 years. Creeping back up for sure. I mean, last year he had his peaks and valleys. Showed quite a bit of pop at the beginning of the season. Really hit some dog days after a little bit of a blip in July. But he's been picking back up now. I mean, bottomed out at the end of May. Now we're talking rolling average somewhere. I don't know. Is he cheating again? Is he on steroids now? Either one of those two things would be great. The problem here for me is just I don't love this line. I mean, we've got the true odds right now at plus 526, and the best line we've got out there is plus 400. So, do I think that he's finding himself a little bit more right now? It feels like it. How's the overall been? WRC plus. I mean, it's in lockstep. So it's not just a bit of a power heater. For the past month and a half, he's been significantly better. But even still, I'm a little nervous. Because we got to remember, and this is the thing that's weird. Coors isn't really like a crazy home run park. It's just a crazy everything else park. I mean, so far this season, Coors has an 89 park factor to righties. Now, do I totally believe that? No. You run the 3-year rolling, you're certainly still a hitter's park. But it's much more of a runs park than a hitter's park. So I'm okay getting away from that one. Legarian Sneed, Kyle Tucker. I'll take a peek. And that will do it for the first edition of Launch Engle, where we dig into the data and we try to find positive portfolio EV bets. Please sign up for Portfolio EV, link in the description. You'll understand this quite a bit more tomorrow morning. But maybe if you didn't want, see, I've got my own portfolio built for homers. It's the Ding Dongs portfolio. If you just wanted baseball, we got that too. Tons of hits props and total base props and hits, runs, RBI props that are hanging out there right now. But that is not this show. We're in it for dongs. Pause. All right, let's look at Kyle Tucker. Okay, not the worst gap in the world there. True line at 499. FanDuel's hanging plus 420. That's the best available line that's out there. Does FanDuel have any good promos for today? This would have been good for like a Dinger Tuesday option. They've got the 30% same game parlay profit boost today. So if you wanted to get Tucker, let's do this. Let's bookmark Kyle Tucker for a second. And then I'm going to hop over here to the parlay builder. And I'm going to pull up FanDuel. I'm going to switch to baseball. I'm going to pull up the Cubs game. Yeah, we don't have any of all the, I had that laundry list of hits props and things. We only have one other prop here for this game. It's Angel Martinez over 1.5 total bases. But if we take a look at that one, and then we grab the Kyle Tucker home run play. Let's turn this to a same game. We add Tuck. And then do we have anything else we can get to in this game to find out if that 30% boost can pay us off? Because that's really what we want. We want to find out if we can pay ourselves off with that final. Let's see. Okay, we might actually have an option here. Negative 2.2% EV on Dansby Swanson to single. Can we get those together and use this? Let's see. I'm gonna pull up FanDuel quickly. Because a 30% boost might buy us out of this. But a lot of the times they don't offer that over market or the under market. So we might be okay here. I appreciate you pointing this one out. The Kyle Tucker one might actually get us where we want to be. And it might allow us to use a 30% profit boost. That might dig us out of a hole. All right, so I'm pulling up the Cubs now. So we're going to get Kyle Tucker to homer. We're going to get total bases. Batter props. 2+ total bases on Angel Martinez at 185, and then Swanson to record a single. What a silly, silly bet. Okay, 30% profit boost takes us to plus 3272 on FanDuel. Now, if we use Kyle Tucker's home run odds here, that's 22%. And if we look back at the parlay builder, that means we've got 35% to win the Martinez play. We've got the 22% for Kyle Tucker, and we've got 47% to win on Dansby Swanson. That is a 3.6% chance of winning all three of those bets, assuming there is no correlation between any of them. If that's the case, and we have a 3.62 win percentage at odds of 3272, that is a positive bet. There is a 0.67% edge on that bet. So I'm going to fire it. And that has been placed. So that is Angel Martinez over 1.5 total bases, Kyle Tucker to homer, Dansby Swanson total singles, but we're able to take a 30% same game parlay profit boost from FanDuel and apply it to this bet and get enough odds that we've got something that's at least neutral if we assume the top batters tool is correct. And at the very least, half a percentage point to a positive percentage point of positive EV. I'll take that for a wild card. The Launch Engle is in the books, guys. First one done. We able to do it for an hour. Catch me tomorrow. We're going to do this earlier. I fully expect to be getting quite a bit more home run plays available to us in the morning than we have right now. What kind of MLB schedule do we have for tomorrow since it is Thursday? 2 early games, 8 late games. Yeah, we're going to have plenty. So don't miss it tomorrow. OddsShopper.com is where you want to sign up. The link is in the description. Guys, thank you for being here. This was fun. I like picking out home run plays, guys, and I hope you guys like doing it with me. Good luck tonight. I hope you tailed some of this stuff. If one of these bets hit, I'm going to let you guys know right now. I'm going to be insufferable talking about it. And if we hit the 3-leg home run parlay, oh boy, we might just have a giveaway tomorrow. But remember, it's like a 1% chance. So 1 out of 100 days. That's all we're looking for. We just need it to be tomorrow. Good luck, everybody. This was the Launch Engle.